How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
They like to bat first, they like playing at home, but do they like 157 Punjab Kings, or is it advantage RCB? We look back at that first innings at New Chandigarh on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout in the fine company of Finchy, Pooji and Matt. You have a nickname?
Heavy roller.
Heavy roller.
Oh, nice.
Finchy, Pooji and heavy. Okay.
I'm the heaviest here. So.
Who holds the advantage at halftime? 157.
RCB for sure. They would be very comfortable chasing that on a wicket that looked a touch slower than what we might have thought it would have been. It took a little bit of spin, but overall I think that they're definitely comfortable with that chase.
Surface?
I think it's still on the slower side. I don't think there will be a massive difference in the first and the second innings, but RCB should be able to get through this.
Yeah.
It's 157.
If you want, you can repeat yourself.
Yeah.
Because every time there is slightly on the slow side, you just believe batters just don't know what to do, right?
Yeah, but with this RCB lineup, I think there's enough experience.
No, I mean the first innings, Pooji. Like the Punjab batters, once you've got something in the surface, why can't you grind your way to 175, which I guess is what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I feel, because when you are playing in an afternoon game, I don't know what the team talk is, but there are times where you just need to understand that they had a great power play. I would say that any day as a team, you would take 60 for 2 and then build it on from there. They could have easily got to 170, which they haven't. So I think they are 50-20 runs short. And it wasn't a track where you get to 200. It was a surface where if you're posted 180, then it was a decent total. But to get there, how do you plan things? Because you need to understand in an afternoon game, the pitch will be on the slower sides. Spinners will come into play. So how do you play those overs? How do you not concede a wicket when spinners are bowling? How do you try and rotate the strike at the same time, try and get 7-8 runs and over, rather than trying to go too hard?
Okay, peep into your book and tell me your plan. Break the story down of the innings.
I wrote 4 for 52, which was the combined figures of the two spinners, and I think Punjab, they're going to have to sub Harpreet Brar in, I think, as the impact player. He's only played once this year, but it was on Friday night against RCB. And I think those two guys, him and Chahal, are going to have a huge role to play if Punjab are going to get anywhere close to defending it. The difficulty is that they know that Kohli in particular can just slot into third gear and cruise along to the end, because there's no challenge of working out what a good score is. They can just, if they want to see out Chahal's 4 overs, they can.
That's just how Kohli does it, and he'll show them how it's done. Spinners, Krunal Pandya, I think, started things off. Sum that up, the Krunal Pandya spell, and why it was so hard to get him away.
Well, he bowled a really difficult over and got the initial breakthrough, which then dragged them back into the game. It looked like the power play was starting to get away from RCB slightly.
Yeah.
But he got the initial wicket, and then first ball outside the power play, Prab Simram hits one down, long on's throat. They lose 3 for 16, I think, during that next 4 overs. So that was pivotal in the game, because they were just able to squeeze. He changed his pace. He was accurate, though. Didn't deviate away from the stumps a huge amount. And on a wicket that's got a touch of hold in it, do the basic things really well, and that's what he did. And along with Siash, got a beauty through Marcus Stoinis, but also that they did what they should do.
There's a brave call to throw Krunal the ball in the 5th over, the left-hander there in Priyansh Arya, but he has better numbers against...
Yeah, I think he's one of the best slow left-armers. I think he is the best, in fact, in terms of economy rate in IPL against the left-handers. And I guess he doesn't, his stop ball doesn't spin very much compared to some left-arm spinners. It's interesting, actually. You look at that RCB team, and you'd think generally you'd have a finger spinner and a leg spinner, and you'd think that the leg spinner would be the attacking bowler and the left-arm spinner would be defensive. But it's actually been the other way around this season. Krunal's taken 10 wickets to 4, slightly better, slightly higher economy rate as well than Siash. So, yeah, slight role reversal between those two.
That's what I get you here for.
What he does really well is he uses his angles and he uses his nous really well. So he'll come around the wicket to the left-hander, going right across them. He'll lower his arm slightly at different points just to create the angle. And then he's got the one that goes really slow, and then the on-pace delivery, which is up above 100 k's an hour. So he just uses his cricket smarts. And like you said, he's not a big turner of the ball, so he has to rely on things. He doesn't have carom balls or many tricks. He slides it across the left-hander, and then he bowls slow and away from the right-hander.
You'll try that bouncer which Pooji was talking about.
I tried that years ago.
Pooji, please.
Yeah, but I think he sticks to his strength. He never tries to spin the ball. And he knows that he can't spin the ball long way. So he understands his bowling really, really well. And he also reads the batsman. because he has played enough domestic cricket and enough matches in the IPL to understand what a batter is trying to do and what are his lengths against a particular batter.
And that makes him better when batters are trying to come at him, because then he's got his variations, but he's also got his cricketing IQ, which can then outsmart the batsman. I think he's the type of bowler that if you look to sit on him, you'll get enough bad balls that you can hit, but when you're trying to overplay the situation, he comes into his own.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if the stats back me up, but most of his wickets would be fielders taking catches in the D because he gets the error shot rather than LBW bowled.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to hear actually you guys' thoughts on that. Perhaps Simran dismissal in particular, first ball outside of the power play. Obviously, it's his role to go hard, but he's also at the stage now where it's third season in IPL. Do you need a bit more cricketing smarts than picking out long on first ball as the field spreads after you've got off to that great start?
Seems like a rhetorical question the way you put it. Yeah.
Look, he does his job. I do agree that he needs to be cricket smart. He needs to understand what is expected once the power play is over, because within the power play, he has the freedom to play the way he wants. And stats-wise, this season, I mean, you know the stats better, but Punjab has got off to a good start in the power play, and they have a decent average as well with the strike rate. So I feel that outside the power play, he can be a little better because he gives them a good start. And if he can be a little street smart, if he can bat better after the power play gets over, because that's the time when the field is spread. And if he keeps going hard, eventually it looks like he's missing out on an opportunity to get a big score.
You don't have to hit the ball in the air all the time. In the power play, I understand he's looking to be overly aggressive and get them off to that absolute flyer. But once the field goes back, you've got the ability to knock it around. You can hit the ball hard along the ground and get fours, almost play risk-free cricket to a point. And then when you get the matchup that's absolutely in your favour, that you can pick one or two targets in the opposition where you go as hard as you want, obviously within the scope of your game. But that's where you need to be a little bit smarter. You can still hit boundaries without taking huge amounts of risks. Because he's got the game.
I wonder if he does, because genuinely with Simran Singh, you try and get a player to do what you know his strengths are. And if you start telling him to build an innings after, and if that...
But it's not about building an innings. He's already done the hard work, and he's got himself in. That's the hardest thing in the game is your first 5 balls in T20 cricket, and he does that really well. He takes them on, he carves them over the offside, he uses the pace well, but then you don't have to continue to be ultra high risk. If you get one of your top 3 to bat deeper into the innings, it can still be really high tempo, but it doesn't have to be high risk as well. Just lower that risk slightly, go deeper into the innings, and then that allows your middle order to function a whole lot better because you've got somebody in. You're not exposing 2 new batters at the same time.
Sure. My point on that was, if Ricky Ponting, let's try and analyse this or speculate, if he has to look at what's not worked in this batting performance, would he start there, or would he say, yeah, but out of the top 3, Shreyas is best suited for that. So these guys have got you 60 for 2. Now it's Shreyas Iyer's job and now Josh Inglis's job to do exactly what you're trying to say. But
imagine you do that with an in batter at the same time as well. So they can still do that role. And we know that Shreyas is going to play a high risk game, particularly in his first 10 balls. He looks to get off to a flyer, and then he can settle into his innings and almost dictate how he plays. But 2 new batters at the crease, that is a huge downfall in T20 cricket, because it might take 4 or 5 balls to both sum up the conditions and then work out how you want to play. But that's 8 balls in T20, 10 balls in T20. That can be quite a lot.
Sure. I guess they tried to build many times after that, and it looked like English was getting away, and then it looked like they had some momentum, but Suyash Sharma struck.
He bowled really well. Today, his lines were much better, because there are times where he goes a little bit outside the off stump, or sometimes he drifts down the leg side for the right-handers. But today, he was quite accurate with his line and length. Also, they were building it up well, but eventually that was a bad shot. I felt that wasn't a time to lose a wicket where English got out.
English, you're saying?
Yeah. I think
13.2 or 13.3.
Yeah, that's the time where the partnership was built. If they had carried on for another couple of overs, then they could have made the most of last 5 overs.
Yeah, he got the 2 Aussie batters, and that broke any real chance of a reinforcement. Does it somewhere strike you that that's not the ideal situation for Stoinis to come in?
Yeah, leg spin is difficult to face at the best of times when you're a new batter, but particularly Stoinis, who can look to be a bit more dead bat at the start of his innings and can have trouble picking the leg spinner first up. He can be vulnerable in that area, but
I wonder if they missed a trick and by not impacting in Harpreet a little earlier. Use the left-hander, get the spinners overs out of the way, and leave Stoinis what he did in the game against Sunrisers, isn't it? Just leave him for the last
For the
2 or
pace.
3 for the pace. Whether they missed a trick there. Any reason to believe that this surface has enough to make the score competitive? Because of course Punjab Kings know they can defend even 111.
No.
I'm guessing it'll be a good game. It won't be an easy chase. I still feel there is enough in it, but can they defend it? I doubt it. I think RCB will chase it down, but it won't be a chase where they will chase it down in 15 overs. That's what I think.
Finchi?
I think that this will be an absolute canter for RCB. I feel as though this is set up perfectly for their batting lineup.
What they need is Salt to hit one straight up.
Yeah.
First and early, and then
Yeah, you
let's
need to
see.
get into them early and try and get into that middle order.
They usually come with good bowling plans, as they did at the Chinnaswamy. They bowled good lengths, Arshdeep, Janssen, they all set things up quite nicely for them.
Yeah, interesting how they go in terms of bowler allocations as well, because we've seen Arshdeep and Janssen at various points not taking the new ball. One of them is generally bowled a bit later. I think Bartlett is very much a power play bowler.
Yep.
So he's presumably going to share the new ball today with, it looks like, Arshdeep rather than Janssen. And yeah, we've seen Harpreet Brar confirmed as the impact sub, which I think was a no-brainer based on the first innings.
I remember him having a decent record against Kohli. I wonder if that's in your notes.
Which one, Harpreet?
Harpreet, yeah.
I don't know for sure. He did bowl well against RCB.
There's a lot
on
of notes
Friday
in there.
night.
Yeah, I started looking through. If he gets Kohli now, I would have said
I'll have it for you for the
Yeah.
post show.
Good man. Right, predictions. Finchi says canter, Pucci says they will chase it, but it may not be easy. Probability for ESPN Rig Info is 74.23% for RCB. We know win probability means nothing when Rajasthan Royals play, but these are the other Royals.
Yeah, RCB in 17.5.
Oh, come on, be brave, change it up. I'll give Punjab a chance. Let's see how things go. My job is to make you guys look good, so I can look foolish in the process. We all think it should be 2 valuable points for RCB by the end of this game, so join us once it's coming to a close, or if it goes on long, then we'll build up to MICSK when we're live next on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Rig Info Timeout.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.